Hey guys, Cleanblade here, bringing another Pokemon TCG online deck profile, and today we're going to be looking into Hippowdon Landorus Leafeon. This is a deck that I playtested for about a day straight, and I played it quite a lot actually, so I feel like this is the best way the deck can be played, so let's just jump straight into the deck profile. We are running one Shaman EX with setup just for a little bit of draw consistency. We don't need too much because we're running a lot of supporters in the deck, but the one Shaman does just help. Then we're running 3 Hippopotamus just to essentially get out Hippowdon. For Resistant Desert, essentially, it just blocks all damage to the Pokemon done by EX Pokemon. It's kind of like the new Regice, except it only does 60 damage and it takes a strong fighting energy and a double colorless energy, and you're powered up fully. Now this could be a strong energy, double colorless, and you could put down a muscle band and a fighting stadium, and all of a sudden you're doing a lot of damage to EXs just for the 3 energy, and they can't damage you back. This is why Hippowdon's really good. Plus you also have the double edge attack here and there for your, I guess, one-shot KOs at the end of the game if you really want to use it. But we do run Landorus, which you can just Land's Judgment for instead of using the double edge, if that makes sense. But yeah, this is basically the MVP of this deck. If you get Hippowdon set up and they don't have an answer, it's just pretty much GG. This card can just run rampant, and if you're versing electric types like Manectric and stuff like this, Resistant Desert just destroys them. For the 3 energy cost, you can hit 200 damage and just wipe them right off the board. So, Hippowdon's really good. Then we're running 3 Landorus EX. It has Hammerhead, everybody knows what it does, and Land's Judgment. We mostly just use it to apply pressures so that we don't have a weak early game that Hippowdon has, if that makes sense. Landorus has a strong early game with Hammerhead. You can just do strong energy, muscle band, fighting stadium, and you're just dealing a lot of damage for 1 energy, and it applies pressure, and it applies pressure to the bench, which gives us the time that we need to set up Hippowdon, if that makes sense. We use Land's Judgment every once in a while. It can save us in certain games, all that stuff. But not too often do we use Land's Judgment. But every once in a while it's useful. Then we're running 2 Eevee. Eevee is just used to get out Leafeon, which we're running 2 of, so that we basically have a good water matchup against Archie's Blastoise, essentially. Because I've noticed on Pokemon TCG Online that there's a lot of Archie's Blastoise in Expanded, so we decided to tech the Leafeons for Energy Crush, because no Keldeo likes to get Energy Crush when there's a lot of energy in the field. It just instantly KOs them, and they just take 1 prize in return, and it's just not a good trade for them. And the Leafeon helps in the water matchup so much, even against the Regice matchup, just because we deal so much damage with Energy Crush, if that makes sense. Though Regice doesn't have the weakness to it, but we still do the 60 damage, if that makes sense. And if they attach any energy anywhere else, it increases our damage, and it just is a force to be reckoned with still, essentially. Moving on to the trainers, we do run our A-Spec Computer Search. Computer Search is just too good to give up on, so that's why we're running it. Then we're running 3 Heavy Ball. Now we're running the Heavy Ball because we can grab Hippopotamus, Hippowdon, and Landorus all off of Heavy Ball. And we can just grab the Eevees, Leafeons, and the Shamans all off of Ultra Ball later on. So that's essentially the reason why we are running the Heavy Balls. Then we're running 1 Professor's Letter just for Steel matchups, for when we had to verse Aegislash and stuff like that. We do have to run some regular fighting energies just to be able to apply pressure still. Then we're running 2 Switch because we don't run Float Stone, and we have a lot of heavy retreat Pokemon, and when they get Lysandered out, we want to be able to switch out, stuff like that, so they can't just stall us out for game, essentially. Then we are running 3 Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball is just way too good in this deck. We're able to grab anything we want, and that could be a Shaman or a Leafeon in the clutch, or a Landorus in the clutch, or another Hippowdon in the clutch. It can just be so good, so that's why we're running 3. Then we're running 4 VS Seeker. VS Seeker is basically a staple now at 4, and that's basically the reason why we're running it. It's just too good to pass up on. Then we're running 1 Chorus. Our bench can get kind of big depending on how you play. If you like to bench your Eevees and Hippopotamus and all that stuff really fast, then your bench can get pretty big really fast, and you can Chorus for large amounts. So that's why we're playing the 1 Chorus. Then we're running 1 Hex Maniac. Now, the Hex Maniac is just a tech twist. Let's say we're versing Aegislash, we can Hex Maniac its ability away, and then we can attack with Landorus or a Hippotops with strong energies, stuff like that. That's why we run the Hex Maniac. Plus, it shuts down Safeguard Pokemon when we don't want Safeguard Pokemon to be up, stuff like that. Garbodor, Wobbuffet, so we can Shaman, all that stuff, so that's why we just attack the one Hex Maniac. Then we're running one Karina. Karina is just good. It helps us grab our Focus Sashes, our Muscle Bands, our Heavy Balls, our Computer Search, all that stuff, you know. It's just, I don't think it allows you to grab Computer Search, but you get the gist. It just allows you to grab everything that you need, plus a Fighting type Pokemon, which is either Hippotops, Hippowdon, or Landorus, and they're all good Pokemon to grab off of Karina. Then we're running one Landorus, one Lysander, excuse me for that, and it just wins games. That's why we are running the Lysander. Then we're running 3 N. N is just too good to pass up on. In this deck, it's really good because we usually have slower starts, if that makes sense. We apply pressure with Landorus, but it's only so much damage because we aren't running bats or anything. So it applies the pressure, but it doesn't take prizes necessarily right away. Thus, N becomes really good because even if they take the prize on us, we can just end them down to 4, draw 6, revenge kill prize, and then we're ahead in hand size and everything like that. So that's why N's really good in this deck. Then we're running 4 Professor Sycamore. Same thing as Juniper. It's just too good to pass up on. You draw a fresh hand. So that's why we run Sycamore. Then we're running 1 Xerosic. Xerosic's really good in the Toad matchup, stuff like that. Just get rid of the DCE. Hope they don't have another one. All that stuff. So Xerosic's just too good to pass up on. So that's why we're running the 1 Xerosic. Then we are running 4 Fighting Stadium. Fighting Stadium's way too good in this deck to pass up on. You could run Silent Lab if you wanted to, but it's really up to you. I prefer Fighting Stadium. It allows us to play more aggressive, and I'm more of an aggressive player, so that's why we're running the Fighting Stadium. Then we are running 2 Focus Sash. Focus Sash is super good in this deck in water matchups and other matchups that like to one-shot a lot of Pokemon. Focus Sash just says nope, and then we attack and probably get the KO anyways, if that makes sense. So that's why we're running the Focus Sash. Then we're running double Muscle Band. Sometimes Muscle Band is what you want to apply that early damage against like Night March or something like that, so that's why we run the Muscle Band. Then moving on to the Energy, we are running 4 Strong Energy. Strong Energy is just too good in fighting decks to give up on, and it's so consistent and it's just so good, so that's why we run the 4 Strong Energy. Then we're running 4 DCE. DCE helps with Hippowdon so much it doesn't take 3 turns to set up, if that makes sense. And yeah, we just kind of have to run the DCE in the deck. Then we're running 4 regular Fighting Energy. Now this is mostly for Aegislash, plus it's another energy just to attach for our Fighting type Pokemon, plus for Leafeon as well for Energy Crush. So yeah, that's basically the reason why we run the 4 Fighting Energy, and it's really good in the deck. And yeah, that's basically the whole deck. If you guys like the deck profile, hit the thumbs up button down below. If you guys didn't, leave a comment down in the comment section down below on why you didn't. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.